Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday, October 30th. I still find myself amazed that October is just about over, but I'm super excited about this call today. I know people are going to be popping on at different times. I know some of you have reached out, sent me messages, and you wanted to be on this call and part of this discussion, but your life and your work schedule and doesn't allow it. So just know that we are here representing you, and this is going to be an ongoing discussion. This is obviously being recorded so that you have the ability to listen and then comment about it and give your input. You all know that we are so incredibly blessed to have Tracy on our team. She is a certified nutritionist, dietitian, correct?
Registered dietitian.
Registered dietitian. There we go. But clearly the point being, massive. She's led groups before, worked in a clinic. This is her background. This is her passion, and she loves to be. Tracy, I will just speak personally to me. Tracy has been such a huge motivation for me to really embrace to be. One, it worked for me this summer when I had my injury, but then really working with Tracy closely over the last couple months and weeks to really understand this program has been so motivating. So this is why we're so passionate about being able to share this with other people and give people a different option than just workouts and time nutrition or just workouts and push people. And so I'm super excited about this. You guys, Tracy is so full of knowledge. And so I'm going to immediately turn it over to her because, as you all know, the big issue that we've been struggling with is logistically how to implement these groups. For those of you who haven't had a chance to do all the research, so you have a quick understanding, Alana, who created the 2B Mindset program and who works with clients in her own practice, she recommends doing groups for us for that 3 months long. That the first month, that you need that amount of time to really see the change, to really make the habit changes, to really process what's going on. As coaches, I think that's a fabulous idea. We love the idea of working with people for 3 months. We hope to work with people for years. But the reality is, when we are as Beachbody coaches we want to start challenge groups every month, the logistics of starting one group, running that for 3 months, the next month starting another 2B group for people that want to be added, running that for 3 months and having those overlap, and then the third month having 3 2B groups all overlapping with different places and different information, plus running our regular challenge groups, plus being involved in trying to grow our business and get coaches and doing training. Like, that's not working. And so in the Beachbody community and in the master training group that you get after you pass your certification, this has been the big dialogue, not just on our team, but among Beachbody coaches, of how you logistically manage this without being completely overwhelmed, but giving your clients the support and the encouragement they need. And so that's what this discussion is about. And like I said, Tracy has worked in clinical environments where she has run groups. And so I've been learning a ton from her, but we are trying to figure out how we want to represent this program to our clients, to give our clients the best that we can give them and to get them the results that they're so desperately longing for. So Tracy's going to tell you kind of what she has been finding, and go ahead. We're just going to get started.
Okay. Well, my thing is, I really do love this program. I have a client and a childhood friend that I just signed up, and she even asked me, she's like, do you like this better than your last job? And I'm like, oh, this is interesting. So I got to tell you, my last job for 16 years was just teaching the nutrition education, and it was behavior modification. All I had to do was that and follow the patients. So I blissfully missed that. But the net that we're able to cast doing this online is phenomenal. Okay, I can't even tell you how many people we're able to reach. So the fact that this was the largest launch Beachbody has ever had needs to be a big aha moment. And so we need to make it somehow practical. But it's been a challenge to find out how to logistically do it as best as possible, coming from the behavior modification point of view. So I've been doing a lot of research and a lot of dead ends from the champion page. There's some things on there. I just watched a video from April 27th when it was literally leading the call of how to start your first success group. It just leads you to the back office, which there is a wealth of information at the back office. But today, it still doesn't say the logistics, like how you would plan out your day, which is what we're really kind of longing for. And but I don't think it has that for any of the programs, really. So
kind of taken our scripts from Melanie in terms of challenge groups. Kendra and I kind of built from what she had years ago.
Yes. So, and one of the videos that I watched was your friend Stephanie, Aaron. So, which is why I'm like, she might be a great person to kind of tap on the shoulder. But anyway, I went to the 2B master group. So if you have been certified, then you are invited to that master group. So under that, with the extra education, ongoing education, more materials, and the access to the community, which is really tricky. It's hard you just scroll through them. It's not as greatly done as we'd hoped. But I just looked up weekly Zoom calls, and there was one thing that came up, and it was a stream of questions. So I did find that there's someone that is suggesting when they do a kit, and obviously I think they should do not just a 2B kit, but they should also do the Shakeology, right? So we can get some sort of income. But she's just saying, even with a kit, the first month is free coaching. And then, and that's them looking at the videos. In the coach office, there's literally for the first 14 days, there's actual daily posts that you can do, scripted videos, and that's what's in our units right now. And then there's, what do they call it? Bank of posts or bank of something. And there's like another 30 days worth. There's a lot of information that literally is handed to us. So that's good. So she probably uses that for the first month and has them follow the 2B videos. And then after that month, then there's a fee. And that's when the weekly Zoom calls start. That's when, she gave a lot of things. She was going to do a weekly Zoom call. She was going to do like a bi-weekly independent call. She was going to do an analysis tracker analysis, and then even end of the week recap. And it was going to be $30 a month. And I'm like, that is a lot of work per one person for $30 in a month. I thought that was cheap for $30 in a week. Right.
Okay, so can you say that again? So she was going to do starting month 2.
Month 2, she would do a weekly Zoom call.
Weekly Zoom, okay.
And I guess I really should look back. Okay, this is, let's see. She was going to have them go through all the videos and program for at least 1 month and have access to the VIP services, which would include Facebook Lives, tracker analysis, pulling blogs and recipes from Beachbody, one-on-one private chats twice a week to assess goals, mindset, and the end of the week recap.
Wow.
Additional mindset and time management tips and hacks, fun challenges, maybe a small prize, $30 a month. Wow. And, so then people are like, oh, these are great ideas, $30 a month. Is this what you would charge just the VIP services? And then someone else chimed in, how do you charge them? Through Beachbody, separate? How do you calculate it for tax purposes? And I'm like, yes. Like, this is,
right.
It'd be awesome if there was some sort of link when you would sell the 2B, if it would have the link with the 2B with extended coaching. I'm like, that's all of the difference that they needed to do. But, it'd be awesome if it would be 1 month of extended coaching, 3 months of extended coaching. Could there be a separate link for extended coaching? I mean, these people are directly paying it. And I mean, to manage it, I guess Beachbody might get a percentage, but I mean, I think that's worth it in order for them to still deal with all of the money and then help us at the end of the year for tax purposes. But I don't know if there's someone that takes suggestions at the corporate level. I don't know. And it kind of depends on what we want to do in terms of the amount of work and that sort of stuff. So that's my take. I did get some feedback because I was asking some current new people that I've just signed up within the last few weeks, because I know her very well. And I said, she was asking me a question this morning and I answered her, and I'm like, I haven't seen you on the Facebook group. I'm just curious. Are you looking at it at all? Like what's, I'm kind of struggling with finding out why people aren't participating. And she had mentioned, it's a really big group, and she's done these types of things before, not with weight loss, but other businesses. And she's like, the bigger the group is, the easier it is to hide. And, I think it's challenging for every group and like you guys have mentioned before, every group has a personality. Some are great at posting and are just a total open book, and other people are a little bit more hesitant to be comfortable posting. But no matter what, with a group of this size, and they see that clearly not even 75% of them are posting, that it's really easy not to post. So, I mean, my gut is it's also suggested in the back office that we use the tracker. What is it called? The tracker app, because then you can, as a coach, you can see what they've done. And you can track what they're doing consistently, what they're not doing, if they're looking and recording what they're doing, but yet not posting. I mean, that's a wealth of knowledge right there that's already been created for us. So has anyone used the tracker app? That would be great feedback to get either in comments, or if anybody online has used the app and if they like it better than the Facebook closed.
We've used it. We've used Tracker app for challenge groups in the past.
Are you talking about the 2B Tracker app?
No.
Well, it's just one tracker app.
The Challenge Tracker app.
Yeah.
So the Challenge Tracker app, we've used it a couple of times. It's great for people going, I drank my Shakeology. It's because it's just click, drank my Shakeology, did my workout. And then they don't, that's it. And people don't engage with the posts. They don't respond. They don't comment on anybody else's. It's great because you can see what your people did. Sorry, my dog's going crazy. But but we don't find the interaction of Facebook like we can get,
Well, I'm wondering if it's setting the expectations, because I'm realizing that maybe I wasn't setting my expectations clearly enough with my new people. Like, the expectation is that you're going to post each day. So I don't know if I'm making that more of an expectation, or more saying, ideally, it'd be great, you'll get the most out of it, that kind of thing. So I need to be more clear. But I think what I'm looking at is, I don't know if you can see this. There is a suggestion of different programs when you do the tracker app, and there is a 2B part. So I think when you do the 2B, it might do more than just, and you have the option to include exercise or not, but I think it might have more than just, did you do the Shakeology? I think it might have, did you get your water in? How are you doing on the food? Like the plate it method. I think there might be one or two more points on it if you choose the 2B.
So let me look into that while we're talking. It's really interesting that you bring that up, because Julie Stice messaged me because she can't be on today. And she talked about that she feels like there needs to be more accountability than just the challenge group. So she said, I wonder if combining the app and the challenge and the Facebook group is what people need to do. And so that's a really good point.
Yeah.
Let me look at the tracker app while you guys.
Well, I'm also wondering if each month we start a new group, and the really large group is after we have 3 months with them in the smaller group, then we convert them into another group. And I don't even know if I'd call it alumni, because alumni kind of means like, oh, I've graduated and I'm done, which really with the 2B mindset, you're never really done, because we're always going to be learning. But that's just semantics, right? We can name it whatever. But then like under units, it would be different. I don't know. It's just interesting that there was a great video, which is how you developed the units, Erin, of someone that was really excited about doing this and taught you guys how to do the units. I don't know if they were doing this already or not, but I remember seeing that. But going back to find it, I couldn't find it anywhere. It's kind of a mystery of going to the Beachbody Champion page, and I don't know, there's just not a lot of talk going on from the coaches.
Yeah, I'm just like, because this is what we do in this group. I do not know one top coach in this company who's doing it. I do not know one.
Is it because they're so much from the fitness angle that it's hard for them to get on board with nutrition first, or is it just because of the logistics? It's too tricky.
I can't say for sure because nobody's saying why. I just know that they're not, and nobody has a lot of answers. Erin, unmute yourself.
What about Katie Ersta? She was so big on this. Remember?
That's a good point. Let me ask her.
I mean, Katie Ersta was like, that's it. I'm doing this. All I'm doing from here on out. 2B mindset. This is my nutrition plan. This is what I'm doing. Okay, great. If that works so well for you and you see the benefits so well for you, then how do we take that tool? And I think your answer at the very beginning of this conversation, I mean, not to, overgeneralize, but I think it is it's harder. Harder than saying, here's your challenge pack. Bye-bye. Monthly Shakeology, bye-bye. I mean, it's a lot harder because it's behavioral, but I think it's also why this resonates with our team, because this is what our team cares about. Our team cares at a level of really seeing people's lives changed. And when we introduced this, I mean, like I said to you guys, for me, it was a total aha moment that I first start talking about doing a program without without fitness. And I have 100 people who have never reach out to me. I'm
yes!
like, it opened doors that Beachbody was never, ever, ever going to open. And isn't that the goal?
Yeah.
Right? But it's hard. And the problem is, like like we've talked about, they rolled it out in conjunction with 80-Day Obsession and all these other things. And so we didn't get a real, here's how to grab a hold of this thing, because it was on to the next program launch.
And Erin, to your point, if you listen to Alana and watch it, her whole practice was meeting with people individually.
Right.
She's trying to scale what she does individually for a half hour or whatever, privately with her clients, to scale it, to be able to duplicate it, to make more money and help people.
Right.
Yes.
I think she did do stuff individually, no doubt, right? But she also taught this at UCLA. This is how she started developing the program and created what she did into sharing it. Was her first job out of, her internship and schooling was UCLA's like, we need a weight loss program. You need to figure it out. And she's, so that's her story. So it did start as a group. Right. And that's where she said, I've worked with every kind of, ethnic background, age, that's why she's really developed this to work for anyone at any age, which is.
my understanding was she was teaching a class, right?
So this is the class. It was
Right.
like a weight loss class.
You commit to a class, for example, in a semester school for the entire semester.
Oh, no, I don't think it was that. I thought it was a program offered to UCLA people.
I think so. I'm not sure if she technically worked for the medical center or if it was the school. Okay. I think she had probably a couple of different things going. But no matter what, if it's a semester long or if it's 3 months long, I think it was probably longer. It was continually working, but I think it was a lot of group work, and she did individual stuff, which is why it translates pretty well.
My point is, my understanding, so please correct me if I'm wrong, but as I've looked into it, she didn't have multiple groups running at the same time.
Oh, that's a good point.
Having 1 3-month group that we all could wrap our brains around.
Right.
This is true. This is probably true, but maybe not, because she also was doing other things. So she was also doing her individual work. She was also probably already, doing different things. So she was juggling probably a few different things. And like like with what you're doing, you do Beachbody, you also do your grief counseling. I mean,
my grief page clients, just like her one-on-one clients, we're paying her individually for that time.
We should never work without getting paid.
Right.
Women do this all of the time. They do way too much and don't get paid enough because they don't ask for enough, and they were just too nice, so that's the trick.
Okay, so here's just jumping in, getting ahead maybe a little bit. We got to figure out, this sounds more crass than what I intended, but I think you'll hear my heart. We obviously have to figure out how to monetize this. If we can't find answers, we've got to continue to reach Beachbody people, right? We've got to continue to reach out to all the leaders in Beachbody and say, we love this program. We're seeing it make a difference. We know from the RD on our team that this is the way you change lives. We are seeing it in our clients every day. Beachbody, how are you embracing it? How do we roll it out? How can we get compensated? And if we don't, and even if we do start to get information, I think we as a team need to figure it out at our own game plan.
Absolutely.
And maybe that compensation looks like what you're doing with your grief counseling clients. Maybe that compensation is after the first month, or it'd be a couple things. After the first month, if you continue your Shakeology subscription, your ongoing monthly is $30, $50, whatever it is. If you don't, then it's whatever. I mean, I don't know if we even tie it to that or not, but maybe it's completely different. We're contractors anyway. We have our own businesses anyway. There's no reason why they can't PayPal us, or whatever. We don't have to have an LLC. We don't have to have, a legal entity. We can be sole proprietors. But maybe we have to figure out how to do the compensation outside of Beachbody if they're not providing that.
And like you guys, I keep track of all my clients pay me directly, and I have to keep track of that and submit that to my tax guy.
Right. Right. I mean, there's got to be, we just have to, I think we're a group of really smart women, and we know that we're seeing something different here and we can't find a model for it. So what does that mean? Do we throw it out?
No.
Or do we figure out a way to create the model?
Can I put a couple 2 cents in?
Yep.
Sure. Yes, please.
couple. What's that? What does it say?
My mug?
Someone in Pleasanton loves you.
That's so cute. Lots of people. So I have 2 points. So if I get off track, remind me. I have a money point and an organization point. So I hiked with a coach who is in the dream team, and I asked her I told her what we just talked about, and how is she doing it. And I liked one of her tips. It doesn't solve all the problems, but I really liked it, and I shared this with Kendra. She sets up the units in a separate group. These are the whole separate challenge group that's just set up with those initial units. And so when someone buys the kit, or ideally the Shakeology challenge pack with Beachbody on Demand, whatever, They get put in there, and they have to go through the units before she puts them in the larger group. So that way they don't get lost along the way, or, just thrown into a big group where people are rating and they don't know what anything is happening because they haven't watched any of their videos or anything, right? So they go through the units, they watch all their videos, they check with her as the coach, and she says, okay, I've gone through all the units, I've watched all my videos, and she says, congratulations. She makes a really big deal, and she says, I'm now going to add you to our greater mindset makeover community. And then they're all excited, and then we introduce them like we do already. But because what my concern has been with my clients, I'm not sure anyone has looked at the units, not because they're not good. They're just, that the units aren't good, or that it's not a great feature. I think they just get thrown into a group and they don't exactly, even though I tell them to, and every single one of us introduces our people and says, look at the left-hand side of your screen. But I feel like we're all just squirrels naturally, right? And so we get pulled into the feed and we're reading everybody's things. So I don't know what you guys think about that, but I like that idea. I think that we should try that. Or at least I'm inclined to try it, because I feel like, well, at this point we have to just try different things, right? And figure out what is going to work for us. So I don't know what do you think about that, Tracy?
I'm curious of how many people will ultimately still be in that group. So once they graduate from that, do you pull them out of the group?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And did
so it's just kind of space.
And did she mention if they were posting there, or is it just more of a site to get the information?
Right. It's just a resource, kind of just like a tutor to get to where they ultimately want to be in the mindset makeover. So it's not interactive. She is communicating with them privately. It's just a place we can all put our people to get that welcome, intro information. And then once she communicates with them privately, that it's been done, then she says, great, you're ready to jump into this and have success.
Did she mention how long it took them on average to get through it?
Yeah, she said we know everybody's different, but they've made the financial investment they typically want to get moving. So they're a little bit more motivated, where I feel like when I put people in, I don't ever really, and I could do a better job at this, at saying, hey, have you been, I should be marking my calendar after, week and say, hey, have you gone through the units, or whatever, as a reminder. I could do better at that. But seems like there's a little bit more motivation to complete it because they want the accountability.
And did she put like 30 days worth of units in, or just
those 2 weeks that are set up in our units? So the same exact thing. We would just remove the units from our current group and put them in a new group.
I like that. I mean, we got to get people to watch the videos.
And somehow,
see, when we had talked about this, remember, I think I had shared this idea with you. Your concern was, in your experience, it's getting people to do it, right? I mean, you had seen that in the past, that if people have struggled in the past with stuff, then this is a lot of independent work without support.
Are you finding that your people aren't watching the 2B videos?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The majority of my people are watching the videos. I think it's just the ongoing accountability that they're not really participating in that's keeping them practicing what they have learned. So, just watching them is the first step. There needs to be a lot of rewatching. And I like the idea of this is the initial learning phase, and then you'll kind of graduate to move on to the ongoing one, the greater community. I like that. But I think we still need to post something at least weekly in that greater community to keep the engagement up. That's the whole point of the extra 30 days worth of posts.
Right. Couldn't we structure that so that I think the key is the daily tracker accountability.
Yeah, and just what they're doing and how are we inspiring them and motivating them, you know, because that's the thing about the weekly calls. So one of the things about the weekly Zoom calls is the idea is that we wouldn't need to do the individual work if we had that continually weekly call. We would only need to do additional individual work for those people that were really struggling, or just people that need a little extra hand holding. And ideally it would only last like a week or two until they kind of got back on their feet again. So doing the weekly Zoom calls sounds like a lot of work, but when you get a group, hopefully, and it's recorded because not everyone's going to be able to be on them. I think the idea is it's going to be more time effective than more work. Does that make sense?
What would you say in the Zoom calls, Tracy? Like, would the content be the same every week? Are people actually checking in and talking about their trackers, or
if they're on the
motivation,
Zoom call, if they're on the Zoom call, then they are paying attention. They're doing the work, right? They're showing up more than someone that's not even going to the Facebook group, right? So it shows a level of accountability, but basically we could just use the Zoom calls with based on the extra posts that she has. And so maybe the first 2 weeks we do the daily posts and they have 2 weeks to look at all the videos, and we are pacing the group maybe slower, because something that Alana says is just because you watch them faster doesn't mean you lose weight faster. So if we pace them and keep them on target and engaged from those 2 weeks, and then after that, and that's daily, and then after that, it's a weekly Zoom call, it can be structured around the daily posts. And really it's like, what's hard? What questions do you have? And then you're just kind of fielding those. So maybe it'll take 30 minutes, maybe it's 45 minutes, but whoever showed up on that call are going to get that sort of individual work. And people that didn't, it's recorded. They're learning what these other people were asking. They probably have the same questions.
So Tracy, will you share about that? I mean, because one of the things that we had talked about was during the Zoom call, before the Zoom call, we get the tracker results basically.
Yeah. We have 1 minute left, so I'm not sure what's going to happen.
Start another call, I guess. Let me do that.
Okay.
Can I do that? You guys good with that?
Yeah.